All right, team. So we're going to look at doing a readiness screening with clients. Before your client even starts their workout, you must do this with them, mainly because it gives us a good insight of how hard we can push our client for the day, as well as it's a good trackable metric. We need to kind of know if our client is trending up in readiness or trending down in readiness. So let's have a look at what that means. So when our client comes to us before our session, we're going to ask them these 5 questions and ask them to label them out of 3. 3 is the best they've ever had, and 0 is complete shit. Okay, that's the metric. So if the closer it is to 0, the worse it is. The closer it is to 3, the better it is. So I'm going to ask my client, how well do they sleep? Okay, so they might say, oh, I feel relatively well rested. I got about 8 hours. I'm feeling good. 3, beautiful. What I'm looking for is set words like well rested, alert. If they said they didn't sleep well, we're looking for how long they've slept for. That 7 to 8 hour mark's usually pretty good. That's what I want to keep in mind here, okay? 0 might be I didn't sleep at all. I don't feel very well rested. I'm lethargic. 3 might be, oh, I woke up before my alarm clock. I'm feeling fantastic, okay? So that's a good indicator as well if they're waking up before their alarm goes off and they're feeling re-energized. Hydration is next. I want to ask them how hydrated they are. Easiest way to do this is ask them, what is their urine clear today? Okay, clear urine is a good indicator of how hydrated we are. And as we know from previous videos, hydration is key for athletic performance, weight loss, and muscle gain. So I want to ask them, have they in the past day or two had appropriate amounts of water and move the water around? It's not just about drinking, it's about also shifting themselves around. So they might say 2. They're okay. They could probably drink a bit more. The urine's a little bit yellow, but it's okay. Splendid. Next on our list is nutrition. Now, for those who've done our nutrition course, we now know that there's a lot more to this question. Most people will just go, oh yeah, it's pretty good, But what we're trying to drag out of them, what I want to know is, have they had their protein servings for the day? Are they having about 5 different colors of vegetables? Are they eating at least 120 grams of carbohydrates or whatever is in their bubble for carbohydrates? We want to know these kind of things. We want to know if they're balancing their fats, how their omega-3s are going. It's a lot more in depth, but at the beginning, when you're just learning, I just want to get them thinking about their nutrition. So I'm like, how's your nutrition at the minute? Oh, I had a big night last night, so it's pretty shit. Or they might think, oh, I'm working on it, it's going pretty good. So as you get smarter as a coach for nutrition, this question becomes more in depth. But at the beginning, we just want the client to start thinking about what they're putting in their mouths. Okay, so they might say, yeah, it's pretty good, it's 2. Movement is, out of 3, the niggles, the restrictions. How tight do I feel? How sore do I feel? Do I have DOMs from the last session with you? These are the things I want to know about their readiness from the client. I want to know how are they feeling as far as their movement capacity. Okay, so 3 is there is 0 niggles and there's 0 restrictions. I feel excellent. I feel like I can move through my planes really well and I've got no DOMs or restrictions. 0 might be, oh, I'm so sore. Oh my God, I can barely pick my keys up off the ground. I can barely sit on the toilet is a good one I hear a lot. So let's say that they've had a workout with you, so they're about 1.5. Cool. Stress now is the big one, team. Stress. When I say stress massively affects the training capacity. The more higher stress you are, the harder it is to kind of relax when we need to, when we want to go to parasympathetic state. And it's already heightened us in a sympathetic state, so it just makes training a little bit more challenging. For a beginner coach, that's not as necessary, it's not as relevant. You just need to get them to think about where their head is at the minute. So for a beginner coach, I just want to see, is their head in the game for today's training? If I've got something that's a little bit more challenging, I might have to make it a little less intense. If my client's feeling really lethargic or really tired, I might give them a stimulating game to start with the warm-up to try to waken them back up. If they're really, really heightened, they're really, really, really stressed, I might give them some breathing work or some light stretching at the start of session to bring them back down to a calm state. So they, again, might be 1.5, okay? So in this instance, out of 15, this client is 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of 15. This is really good, okay? I might ask them, if I had a magic wand, which one of these do you want me to fix to 100%? I make it immediately better, okay? Magic wand, I can do whatever you want. The client might go, oh, I really wish that perhaps my movement was a little bit better, or more commonly, I really wish my stress was better. So I'm going to say, okay, well, stress is the main focus for the day then. So I'm going to say 10S, meaning that I'm 10 out of 15 and stress is my main focus. Okay. Now, I as the coach can now assess how I want to look after my client today. From S, I know now that I'm going to try to either increase happiness or decrease excitability. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Since they're 10 out of 15, we kind of sit in some different ranges for difficulty of training. Well, let's make that 8. 3 to 6, then we'll go 6 to 9, and then 10 and above. So if our client is sitting in 3 and below, you might need to send them home. Or you might need to put them in something like a sauna or Normatec compression sleeves or something that they don't have to do any work at all. Their session is now almost completely recovering, because this is not appropriate to try to blast someone in. It's just not going to work. You're going to hurt them, and then I hope you have your liability insurance up to snuff. 3 to 6, now it is on the lower side, but we can still train. We might do some active stretching, like active recovery. So you might think more like a yoga session, or more of a working on the B3, the ankles, the hips, and the spine for flexibility. You might do some movements in that capacity, but we're certainly not trying to get them to do too much of a sweat. We may even just put them on a bike for 20 minutes. Who knows? Depends on the client, depends on the need. When we start going more to the 6 and 9 range, this is really good for lifting movements, bodybuilding style training, where our client is certainly ready to go. We might not flog them. It's a little bit too low to really push them, but we can certainly make them pick up some dumbbells and do some isolation work. We might not then get them to do sprints, but we could get them to do leg extension or leg press or squats, provided that, again, their readiness is allowing and the other things you've got to think about allow it. Okay? So 6 to 9 is you can still train them, but I'd probably train them in a lower capacity. We're not flogging them, but we're not letting them just chill either. Now, anything 10 and above this is a good day. This is a day to get after it. If you're doing retesting, like big 1RM squats or 1RM bench presses, this is a great day to kind of get after it, to see what their capacities are. Okay, this is a good day to work on some HIIT and HISS training or some high intensity when we're above 85% training. Fantastic. This might be the days that you see your clients have the most amount of output when you're measuring their metrics. Fantastic. We love to see these days. Here's the caveat of this system, team. As our client is going throughout your training, you should be tracking their readiness. So every time you're with them doing a one-on-one or in their program, you should be asking them to do their readiness. And what we should see is regularly a trending up of their readiness over a long time horizon. Okay. Now, when we get to a high level, we might have a couple of drops here and there, but more often than not, we're constantly either staying up and plateauing at that higher range. That's what I want to see. If my client is trending down, that is your client telling you that an injury is coming, or you're overtraining them, or something is going wrong in their space that you haven't addressed as their coach, and we can catch it before a big issue or injury happens, okay? So we're always looking to make sure our client is trending up. At the end of session, I'm going to ask them if their readiness has improved. Our session at the beginning of it and end of it should be a little bit different. Our client should always walk out better than they walked in. So there's 3 things. Let's recap all this nonsense. There's 3 things I need you to do for me. Ask the client out of 3 what each of these main headings are today. I need you to track their readiness to make sure that they're always trending up, not trending down towards injury. And finally, I need you to see if at the end of the session, you have provided a service good enough that their readiness has improved in some capacity. 3 things: readiness on the day, readiness long-term, and readiness at end of session. If you do all these things, team, firstly, it makes you look like a way better coach, because you are. You're doing far more research. It's giving you better trackable metrics, so to see if what you're doing is working. And it also gives you insight on stuff that you need to learn about to improve your service, so that way you can then ask better questions around these spaces. Remember, keep it simple, stupid. Try not to overcomplicate this. It's important that you know the little nuts and bolts behind these headings. It's less important that the client knows, okay? Learn as much as you can so you can dumb it down as much as you can, okay? Excellent, team. Well done. Let's move on. Keep learning. Pay this forward. Make sure you help the PT next to you, and hopefully we can help some people with their readiness.